Have you ever wondered, do I exist just to give others the power to break my heart, to be taken for granted time and time again? You love deeply, you give selflessly, and you're always the one holding things together, hoping they'll finally see your worth. But then, finally, you decided to walk away. You decided that this time they would have to feel the pain of losing you. And them? They didn't even try to stop you. Not a single question, not a single reason to make you stay. They just let you walk away, as if everything you gave, every moment you shared, meant nothing. How can they just let you walk away like that? How can they forget everything you've done for them? You set aside your own needs to make sure they were okay. You were desperate for their attention, desperate to make them see your worth, desperate to make them realize just how valuable you truly are. But look what they did to you, to your efforts, to every single feeling you had for them. And here's the hard truth you need to hear. They didn't love you, not in the way you deserved. They didn't even want to see your face. They controlled their actions, their responses, their feelings. But here's the thing. If they don't see your worth, that's okay. Because you know what's not okay? It's that you haven't been seeing your worth either. Who said that loving them meant you had to forget your own value, your own dreams, and your own life? Who made you think that? If they're unwilling to recognize your worth, then who's truly responsible for letting that happen? It's you. Yes, that's right. They called, you answered. They pulled and you came running. And in doing so, you unknowingly showed them it was acceptable to treat you like a puppet. So, who's responsible for this cycle? It's you. But here's the good news. If you can recognize that truth today, you have the power to change it. Because if they don't see your worth, that's not the problem anymore. The real problem, my friend, is that you're not willing to see your own worth. And today, that ends. Today, you're going to affirm with me, right here, right now. Wipe away those tears and say it with me. I love myself. Once more, louder. I love myself. And don't just stop there. Throw it out in the comments for everyone to see. Let them know, let you know, that this is your truth now. Write it down for yourself, as if carving it into stone. I love myself. Now, let's move forward. Now, when we talk about making them feel the pain of losing you, let's be clear. We're not talking about harming anyone here. This isn't about revenge. It's about transformation. You still love them, right? So rather than letting anger control you, we're going to use their reactions as fuel. You're going to grow stronger, you're going to thrive, and when they see that, when they see you living your best life without them, that's when their perception of you will shatter. That's when they'll taste the regret of not recognizing your worth from the start. So, are you ready? Ready to dive into the 7 lessons that will teach you how to become someone so powerful, so grounded, and so at peace that they can't help but feel the impact of your absence. This is about creating a life so full and so fulfilling that watching you become who you're meant to be makes them realize just what they lost. And don't worry, I'm not here to tell you to dive into some hardcore workout routine unless you want to. Transformation isn't always about going to the gym or completely overhauling your life. It's about doing the little things that make a big difference in how you see yourself. Today, we're going to talk about practical, straightforward actions that will reveal just how powerful you are. So, let go of the doubt, because these steps are here to shift the story, to bring you to a place where they can't help but feel the sting of your absence. So before we dive deep, please make sure to smash that like button. This small action goes a long way in helping spread this video to more people like you who are looking for guidance and support. Because honestly, there's nothing better than knowing we're helping others find their strength and rediscover their worth. Ready? Let's go. Number 1. Shatter their perceptions. In your journey of transformation, in the powerful mission to make them feel the true pain of losing you, the first thing you have to do is shatter their perceptions. They think they know you, but the version of you that existed in their mind, that version is long gone. When you walked away, they may have thought, they'll come running back, they can't handle life without me. They likely believe you'll fall apart, become desperate for their attention, or wait around, hoping they'll come to their senses. This is where you have to hit them with the unexpected, where you take everything they assumed and flip it upside down. They're waiting for you to reach out, but you're about to do something they never expected. Stand stronger than ever, show them you're unbreakable, and prove that you're better off without them. This is where you change the story and make them see they were wrong about everything they thought they knew about you. They thrived on the version of you that would sacrifice anything for them, the version that would wait, worry, and give up everything for their approval. They think they've won because you walked away, and they didn't chase you. They believe you're sitting in silence, waiting for them to reach out. But here's where you shatter that image. Instead of giving in to their expectations, you show them that your world doesn't revolve around them. You stop feeding their ego by letting them know that their absence doesn't affect your life. In fact, it's empowering you to become someone they never thought you could be. Silence is a source of great strength, Lao Tzu once said. Silence, they say, speaks louder than words, and in this case, it's the most powerful tool you have. They're expecting you to reach out, to break the quiet with a message, a call, or a plea for attention. But by remaining silent, you leave them in suspense, forcing them to question everything. They'll wonder why you haven't reached out, if you've moved on, if you ever cared at all. Each day of silence becomes a reminder of their lost hold over you, a void they cannot fill. Silence is your new armor. Use it wisely. Let it be the space they fear most, because in that silence, they'll be left only with their own doubts and regrets. Imagine this. They see you thriving, doing things you never did when you were with them. They see you smiling, out with friends, pursuing dreams you put on hold. They watch as you step into new spaces, meet new people, and embrace the freedom they thought you'd be too heartbroken to enjoy. Let your actions speak for you, showing them that their departure was the catalyst for your transformation. Instead of folding, you're unfolding, becoming stronger, brighter, and more fulfilled than they ever expected. Every moment you spend focused on your growth is a moment they'll spend regretting underestimating you. Each time they see you succeed, it will feel like a twist of the knife. They thought you'd crumble, but instead you're rising like a phoenix from the ashes of the relationship they left behind. The legend Charlotte Bronte once said, "I care for myself. The more solitary, the more friendless, the more unsustained I am, the more I will respect myself." Independence is a powerful thing, and it's what they never expected from you. They thought you'd always need them, that they were essential to your happiness. But now they're realizing that's not true. By embracing your independence, you show them that you're perfectly capable of living without them. You're breaking the illusion they built of you as someone dependent on their validation. You're a force of your own, a person who finds strength within, and by showcasing that independence, you're giving them no choice but to see you for who you truly are, someone who values themselves more than anyone's approval. Imagine you were once a steady rock in their lives, predictable, always there for them. They thought they could come and go as they pleased, knowing you'd be there waiting. But now, you're a mystery. Every part of your transformation leaves them wondering what's next, questioning what they missed, and realizing just how little they truly knew about you. When you become the unexpected, they no longer have control or power over you because they can't predict your next move. They're left on the sidelines, watching in disbelief as you redefine who you are without them. A strong person is not the one who doesn't cry. A strong person is the one who sheds tears for a moment, picks up her sword, and fights again. Create a life so rich, so full of purpose, that they can't reach it. Build a world where their presence is unnecessary, where every corner is filled with joy, ambition, and resilience. Make choices that push you forward, that bring you closer to your dreams, and show them that you're not just moving on, you're moving up. Let your life become something they can only admire from a distance. A world that's thriving without their influence. A space they'll never be able to step into again. This is the time to embrace every part of yourself that you held back. Stop hiding your strength, your passions, your voice. When they see you unapologetically stepping into the person you were meant to be, it will hit them hard. They'll realize that they never truly knew you, that they only saw the parts of you that made their life easier. Now, you're embracing your full power, and there's no room for their limited view of you anymore. This is your moment. They thought they had you figured out, that you'd always be the same, waiting, loyal, predictable. But today, you're flipping the script. Today, you're showing them they were wrong, that the person they left behind has grown beyond anything they could have imagined. So stay tight, hold your ground, and keep moving forward. Let them feel the regret, the sting of seeing you shine without them, knowing that they missed out on something extraordinary. Today is the day you break free. Number 2, become the storm they can't escape. In this journey of reclaiming your power, the next step is to become the storm they can't escape. When they let you walk away without a second thought, they assumed you'd simply disappear, fade into the background, and be nothing more than a memory. They thought your love, your presence was a passing breeze, something that might linger for a moment but would eventually disappear. But now it's time to show them that you're not a breeze. They're about to see the force of a storm they never saw coming, a storm they can't simply brush off or ignore. They'll feel your strength, your resilience, in every corner of their mind, every quiet moment. You'll become a force they can't outrun or forget. They believed you'd be devastated, weak, or helpless without them. But here's where you'll defy every single expectation they had. They'll expect you to hide away, to be broken by the loss. But you're going to do something that shakes them to their core. You're going to rise, powerful and untamed, and make them see that you are stronger than ever. Your strength, your newfound confidence, will be like a storm on the horizon that they can't outrun. You are not a drop in the ocean. You are the entire ocean in a drop, the poet Rumi once said. You are no longer just the calm, comforting presence they once took for granted. You are now a wave crashing forward, unstoppable and unyielding. You've gathered all your strength, every lesson, every hurt, and transformed it into something they can't look away from. They might not realize it yet, but soon they will see that losing you was not a passing mistake. It was the start of a storm that will remind them of their choice over and over. Each time you succeed, each goal you reach, each moment of laughter and happiness you experience without them will roll over them like thunder. They'll see you happy, shining, and they'll feel that booming silence where your love once was. They may try to brush it off, pretend they don't care, but deep down, they'll feel it. Each milestone you hit will echo in their mind, a relentless reminder that you've moved on without them. Picture it like this. While they're left in the quiet of their own choices, you are moving forward, unstoppable and free. leaving them to face the emptiness they created. Each moment of growth you achieve is like lightning, sharp, unexpected, and impossible to ignore. They'll feel the sting every time they see you living fully, unapologetically, and powerfully. And, in that realization, they'll understand that you've become something they no longer have the power to contain. The philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche once said, "One must still have chaos in oneself to be able to give birth to a dancing star." You are that star now, shining bright and fierce, no longer willing to hide your light for anyone. You're no longer just a steady, comforting presence in their life. You're a force that's transformed, untamed, a storm that doesn't wait for anyone's permission to exist. You've found the chaos within, and you've embraced it, using it as fuel to light up your path. Let them feel that light. Let them see how you no longer wait for approval or validation from anyone. Imagine that they're sitting in the quiet, looking for the stability you once offered, but instead of the calm they're used to, they see you thriving, unrestrained, like a powerful storm they can't stop. They'll watch, helpless, as you become everything they never imagined you'd be. You're not waiting for closure or understanding anymore. You're simply becoming, rising, expanding. You were the safe harbor, the stillness they took for granted. But now, you are the open sea, fierce, vast, and free. They thought they had you figured out, but every step you take without them proves just how little they knew. They can't escape your presence because, ironically, by leaving you, they've unleashed the very force they can't ignore. The legend Maya Angelou once wrote, "You may not control all the events that happen to you, but you can decide not to be reduced by them." You're choosing not to be reduced by the loss, by the hurt, or by the memories. Instead, you're amplifying your strength, letting it echo. They'll feel that storm in every quiet moment, every time they think of you, realizing that the impact of losing you is something they will carry indefinitely. So, be the storm they can't escape. Be that force of change, the undeniable presence that doesn't need to beg, explain, or justify. Every move you make now, every goal, every joy, is thunder in their mind, reminding them of what they let go of. Let them feel it. Let them watch from afar and realize that their choice led to this unstoppable force. This is your power now. Take it and use it as fuel to rise higher than ever. Number 3. Be the scar they can't hide. Becoming the scar they can't hide means leaving a mark on their heart that doesn't fade. A constant reminder of what they lost, of the love they let slip away. When you walk away, you're not just leaving, you're creating a wound, a void that they can't fill with anyone else, no matter how hard they try. It's a scar they'll carry with them, an invisible reminder of everything you were and everything they lost when they took you for granted. You're going to become the part of their story they can't forget, the what if they'll always wonder about, no matter where they go. They may try to move on, surrounding themselves with people, distractions, or anything that keeps them from facing what they lost. But deep down, the memory of you will remain, like a scar that surfaces in moments of quiet. You were the one who gave them love, loyalty, and kindness. You were there when no one else was, the steady presence that supported them without question. But now, that presence is gone, and they're left with an emptiness they can't shake off. That's the scar. It's the emptiness of knowing they had something rare, something irreplaceable, and that they lost it by their own hand. The legendary author Khalil Gibran once said, "Ever has it been that love knows not its own depth until the hour of separation." That's where they are now. They're realizing the depth of what they lost, the significance of your absence, and it's haunting them. This scar is a wound they can't erase, a regret they'll carry, not just because they lost you, but because they didn't value you when they had the chance. Every time they think they've moved on, that scar will pull them back, reminding them of what they chose to walk away from. Think of it as leaving a fingerprint on their heart, a unique mark that no one else can replicate. They can try to replace you, find someone who makes them feel what you did, but they'll only end up chasing shadows. You were unique, the one who knew them in ways they didn't even know themselves. No matter how much time passes, that scar will stay, reminding them that true love and loyalty aren't so easy to find. And here's where your strength lies, in knowing that you were irreplaceable. They may hide the pain from everyone else, but they can't hide it from themselves. That scar will be a silent reminder, an invisible weight they carry, a lesson they'll never forget. So, be the scar they can't hide. Stand strong, knowing that while they'll go through life pretending everything's fine, deep down they'll feel that ache, that emptiness, knowing they lost something real. This is your power now. Live your life boldly, and let that scar be the reminder of the value they failed to see. Number 4. Build a fortress of self-worth. Building a fortress of self-worth means creating a life so solid, so grounded in self-respect, that no one can ever make you question your value again. When they chose not to appreciate you, they assumed you'd stay vulnerable, waiting, willing to bend for them. But now, you're putting up walls. Not walls that keep love out, but walls that keep self-doubt and disrespect from ever crossing the threshold. This fortress isn't built from bitterness or revenge. It's built from a deep understanding of your own worth and the power that comes with standing strong in who you are. Imagine a fortress made from every lesson you've learned, each disappointment transformed into a brick that strengthens your walls. Every letdown, every moment they underestimated you, is now part of your foundation. This fortress isn't about hiding or becoming untouchable. It's about protecting what matters most: your peace, your dignity, your joy. From here, you decide who deserves to come in, who is allowed to share in the life you're building. You hold the keys, and only those who respect you, who truly see your value, are allowed inside. As the legend Eleanor Roosevelt once said, "No one can make you feel inferior without your consent." This is the mantra of your new fortress. You've outgrown the need for validation from anyone who doesn't see your worth. You're creating a life where your sense of self doesn't depend on anyone's approval, where you are complete on your own, and where the opinions of those who couldn't see your value don't hold any power over you. This fortress of self-worth isn't a place of isolation, it's a place of strength. When they look back, hoping to find you vulnerable or waiting, they'll see instead a person who's unshakable. They'll see someone who no longer seeks permission to shine, someone who doesn't bend to fit someone else's mold. They'll realize they didn't just lose a person, they lost someone extraordinary, someone who knew their worth. Inside this fortress, you're thriving. You're exploring new passions, setting new goals, surrounding yourself with people who uplift and inspire you. You're investing in yourself, pouring your time and energy into things that nourish your spirit. This life you're creating becomes a fortress of abundance, so rich with love, purpose and joy that nothing and no one can take it from you. And here's the truth they'll come to understand. They no longer have access to you because they never truly valued you. You've built a world where their opinion no longer matters, a world where you stand tall, unbothered and complete. This fortress isn't a place they can reach, and that's where they'll feel the sting of their choices. So build this fortress of self-worth. Make it strong, make it beautiful, and make it yours. Live boldly, unapologetically, and let your self-worth shine like a beacon. Let them watch from afar, knowing they can never again step into your world. You are the keeper of your own peace, the architect of a life built on respect and love for yourself. Number 5. Become the reflection they can't stand. Becoming the reflection they can't stand means holding up a mirror that forces them to confront the reality of what they lost. It's about showing them, without saying a word, that you're no longer waiting, hurting, or questioning your worth because of them. Instead, you're moving forward with a confidence and strength they never believed you could have. And each time they see you thrive, every glimpse they catch of your happiness, they'll be faced with the truth of their own mistakes, forced to see that you've become everything they underestimated, and more. They expected you to crumble, to feel incomplete without them. But now, you're the version of yourself they never imagined. Vibrant, strong, unapologetically happy. Each time they catch a glimpse of your success or hear of the joy you've found, it'll be like looking into a mirror that reveals their own shortcomings. They'll see not only what they lost, but also the fact that they were the one who walked away from someone extraordinary. You are now the reflection of the strength they never believed you had, the potential they failed to see, and the happiness they thought you'd only find through them. As Oscar Wilde once said, "Some people bring out the best in you, and others bring out the worst. Very few bring out the most." You are now showing them the best, the brightest, and the most unstoppable version of yourself. And that reflection, the version of you they can no longer reach, becomes a constant reminder of what they let go. Imagine standing tall, radiating confidence, purpose, and joy. You're no longer haunted by their choices or limited by their doubts. Instead, you've become a reminder of what could have been. Each success, each moment of peace, is a mirror they can't escape, reflecting back their own lack of vision, the shallowness of their choices, and the depth of what they lost when they didn't value you. You are the life they could have shared, but they chose otherwise. And now, that truth is written all over your happiness. They may try to ignore it, pretend it doesn't affect them, but your strength, your resilience, will be there, a reflection they can't outrun. The contrast between your growth and their missed opportunity will sting, revealing the gap between the person you're becoming and the person they assumed you'd be. You are the reality check they never saw coming. So, let your life be the mirror they can't stand. Show them, without bitterness or malice, that you've moved on, grown, and found happiness without them. Let your progress, your newfound joy, be a reminder of everything they once had the privilege to experience, but no longer do. Let your reflection be a beacon of your resilience, proof of your worth, and a testament to your strength. Live boldly, confidently, and with joy, knowing that you've become the reflection of the best parts of you, parts they can now only admire from a distance. You've become the version of yourself they never expected, but can't forget. Number 6. Paint your own sky without them. Painting your own sky without them means creating a life so vibrant, so full of color and joy, that their absence fades into insignificance. They might have believed they were the source of your happiness, the one who brought light and meaning into your world. But now, you're going to show them that your life doesn't just go on without them. It becomes a masterpiece, a canvas filled with the colors of your dreams, passions, and ambitions. You're stepping into a world where they are no longer the center, and that world is brighter than ever. Imagine a sky that was once gray, tinged with the shadows of doubt and dependence, now bursting with the hues of independence, self-love, and growth. You're filling your life with colors they can't touch, colors they never knew existed within you. Each new experience, each goal you chase, each moment of joy becomes a brushstroke, transforming your life into something beautiful and wholly yours. Your happiness isn't about replacing them, it's about finding the joy that's always been waiting for you. The great Frida Kahlo once said, "I paint flowers so they will not die." Now, you're painting your life with the colors of resilience and self-respect so that your happiness and fulfillment will never be tied to someone else's approval. Each new adventure, every step forward, is a blossom they can never take away. Your life is a garden they can no longer enter, a masterpiece they'll never hold a brush to. As you paint your own sky, they'll be left to watch from afar, realizing that you've created something magnificent without them in it. They'll see that their absence didn't create a void. It created space for you to expand, to fill your life with everything they never gave you. And with each passing day, the distance between your new world and their memory will grow, until all that remains is the faint outline of someone who once thought they were irreplaceable. So, pick up that brush and paint boldly. Fill your world with the colors of your freedom, your peace, your joy. Let them see the sky you've created without them, and let it be a reminder that your happiness is something they'll never control again. You're painting a life that's richer, brighter, and more vibrant than anything you shared with them. A sky that belongs only to you. Number 7. Let your silence be their darkness. Letting your silence be their darkness means choosing not to explain, not to plead, and not to seek closure where it was never offered. Silence is powerful. It's the absence that speaks volumes, the emptiness that echoes louder than words ever could. When you stop reaching out, when you refuse to answer, your silence becomes a vast, dark space where they're left alone with their own regrets and thoughts. They thought you'd always be there, ready to talk, to mend, to smooth over the cracks. But now, your silence is the reminder that you've finally chosen yourself, and they can no longer access the comfort of your presence. In the quiet you leave behind, they'll begin to feel the weight of their choices. The void where your voice once was will haunt them, filling the spaces they once took for granted with an emptiness they can't escape. They'll check their phone, expecting the usual messages or reassurance. But there's only silence, a dark, quiet reminder that you've moved on, that your energy is no longer theirs to claim. The poet Jalaluddin Rumi once said, "Let silence take you to the core of life." And that's what your silence will do for them. It will take them to the core of their own decisions, their own disregard, forcing them to face what they tried to ignore. Without your words, your explanations, or your comfort, they're left to sit with the reality of what they lost. This silence will become a mirror they can't look away from, a darkness that lingers, reminding them that they are now on the outside of a life they once had access to. Silence isn't absence, it's a boundary, a firm line that says you are no longer available to be taken for granted. Let them sit in that quiet, let them wonder, and let them feel the darkness that comes from realizing you're no longer there to fill the gaps. Every unanswered message, every unreturned call will be a reminder that you have moved forward, reclaiming the parts of yourself they failed to cherish. So let your silence be their darkness. Stand firm in your decision not to respond, knowing that this quiet is your strength, your power, and their realization of what they let slip away. Silence is your freedom, and for them it will be the shadow that never leaves. Number 8. Rise from the ashes they left behind. Rising from the ashes they left behind means embracing the pain, the lessons, and the broken pieces, and transforming them into a new, stronger version of yourself. When they walked away, they may have expected you to stay defeated, to remain tangled in the ruins of what once was. But instead, you're gathering those ashes, the remnants of what they left, and using them to build a life that's more vibrant, powerful, and unbreakable than anything they could have imagined. You're not just moving on, you're rising higher, stronger, and bolder than ever. They may have expected you to be lost in the aftermath, struggling to make sense of it all, but you're about to show them something they didn't see coming: a rebirth. The ending they left you with was painful, but it's also the beginning of a new chapter where you define yourself by your strength, your courage, and your resilience. In the ashes, you found clarity, purpose, and a determination to create a life that no longer revolves around their presence. You're not just healing, you're transforming, stepping into a version of yourself that only this journey could have revealed. As the great philosopher Nietzsche said, "That which does not kill us makes us stronger." You're taking every bit of pain, every disappointment, and every broken expectation and transforming it into fuel. You're lighting a fire within that doesn't burn out, one that drives you forward, helping you rise above what they thought would hold you down. The ashes of that past, of what you once gave them, now belong to you alone. You're using them to create a foundation that can't be shaken, a life where your happiness and worth are rooted in your own growth and self-love. Imagine a phoenix, rising from the very flames that tried to consume it, emerging from the fire, renewed and powerful. That's you now. You've faced the fire, felt the burn, and emerged brighter than ever, a person unrecognizable from who you were before. Each step forward, each new achievement, is a reminder that they didn't break you. They merely gave you the spark to become someone even they won't recognize. They'll see you thriving, radiating strength, and know that they were only a chapter, not your story. The ashes they left behind are now your canvas, the blank slate upon which you're building a life that belongs only to you. You're reclaiming every part of yourself that was lost in that relationship, rediscovering passions, dreams, and ambitions they couldn't see. And this time, you're doing it for you, not to prove anything to anyone else. Rising from the ashes is about taking back your narrative, transforming loss into liberation, and finding joy that's rooted in self-love. They'll see you standing tall, unbroken, and realize that leaving you wasn't the end. It was the spark that ignited a transformation they never saw coming. So rise, reclaim, and build a life where your happiness, your success, and your worth are untouchable. You are the phoenix, the flame, and the story they'll never forget. Subscribe if you're ready to reclaim your power and live a life on your own terms. This journey is about more than moving on. It's about rising higher, finding strength you didn't know you had, and creating a life filled with self-worth, joy, and resilience. Let them feel the absence. Let them face the darkness of your silence, and watch as you transform beyond their expectations. You're not just healing, you're thriving. Remember, you are the masterpiece, the storm, and the light. So keep moving forward, unapologetically. This is your time to shine.